My name is Dr. Tammie McParland, and I'm an Associate Professor of Nursing here at Nipissing University. I became an associate in 2017. I started here back in 2007. While I was getting my PhD full-time, I was also teaching my students. I am a nurse of 45 years. It's my 45-year anniversary this year, and I actually came from a 2-year hospital diploma program in Nova Scotia. What I like best about this program is just interacting with students. I love seeing people develop into nurses, which sounds kind of funny, but people become nurses through 4 years of being in nursing school. You come in with a certain set of assumptions and beliefs, and you leave with a different set of assumptions and beliefs. And that growth is really what I love about teaching in the program, and I've taught across all years, so it's good to see. So I have 2 pieces of advice. One piece is to get involved and really have fun, because nursing is one of the hardest programs that there is. So when you have time that you can have fun, take that time. Join the Nun Society. The Nun Society advocates for nurses at the NUSU union level, and it really is your spokesperson at Senate, and also it helps you to navigate if you're unsure what's going on. The second thing I would say is get to know your professor or talk to your professor. So when I stand up at the beginning of the class, at the beginning of the year, I say, I'm here to help you be successful. That is my job. Of course, I have to do things like test you and, assignments and teach classes, but my job is really, in my opinion, to make you a successful nurse, because you are the future. Nursing is the future, and that's you. And, the baby boomers are now starting to retire from nursing, and we have a nursing shortage. So we really need nurses. We really need you. And it's important that you work with your professor to get there. So the biggest thing about Nipissing University is that we have the smaller class sizes, which although their class sizes are 45, 50 in sections, and we may have a class size of 100, that's not 100 students in a room. And a lot of nursing programs have 100 students or more, 120, 130 in a room. The other thing is that our students get into placement as soon as possible. In the second semester of first year, we introduce students to what it means to either care for somebody or look at a community. We do a lot of simulation. We usually start that in first year, second semester, but we're also thinking we may start it in first year, first semester this year, just because to give the students that exposure. And the thing is, we all think we know what nursing is until we actually get exposed to it. So it's really good to know this is what nursing is, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you decide it, and I've had this happen, you can flip into another program at Nipissing very easily. So, it's good for you, it's good for mom and dad who are paying the bill to know what you want to do. So that, I think, is really a strength of our program. The big key courses that you're going to take are clinical courses in every semester except the first one. And the clinical course in the first semester is more about getting ready. It's like a health assessment course. You'll take pathophysiology, you'll take development across the lifespan courses, you'll take courses on population health, you'll take courses on complex health in 2 years, second and fourth. You'll learn what it is to be a nurse. You'll take ethics courses. You'll take courses that look at the law involved in being a nurse. You'll take a course on transitioning into nursing. So all the courses, with the exception of our electives, which students take, and there are some great electives here. There's one on death and dying that's taught by Dr. Scrigley. There's some nutrition courses. There's great other elective courses that help you get a certificate if you want, in as well as your degree. So those set you up really nicely if you want to end up going for a postgraduate or onto a master's or something. So the biggest thing about this program is the amount of clinical that we have. We have clinical, like I said, in almost every semester except the first. And our final practicum, or it's called consolidation or preceptorship, is almost 300 hours, I think, of students working as an RN. And it's amazing when these students, even I just finished with my 4th years this week, and they're very nervous about going into work as an RN. And I said, you wait, come back and talk to me at the end of preceptorship, and everything comes together in preceptorship. They feel much more confident. Our success rate on the NCLEX at this point is 96% first-time rates, which is, equivalent or very close to like the big universities like U of T or Queen's. So, it's good. So I think we prepare students very well, because we really create that praxis, which is where theory and practice comes together and creates what you need to be successful. In every year, in both semesters, we have a theory course, we have a clinical course. The theory course may or may not mirror the clinical course, but what you're learning in that theory course, definitely you'll see in clinical. So it really makes the theory you're learning come alive. For example, I just had a student come to me and say I was in my emergency observation day, and somebody came in with a AAA, which is an abdominal aortic aneurysm, and we had just talked about that 2 weeks previously in class. So she was thrilled that she was able to sort of understand what the doctors were talking about and all the tests they were ordering. And then when the doc said, oh, it's a AAA, she's like, oh, I knew what they meant by that. I was just so thrilled. So that was pretty cool. So they learn the theory, they apply the theory, and you know, I think it really makes it come alive. So here at Nipissing, we are really fortunate in that we do have undergraduate students as research assistants across the university. Nursing, we have, I think we have 2 or 3. So when somebody gets a big grant from the government, like a CIHR grant or a Tri-Council grant, then part of it is getting student research assistants. And so we have nursing faculty who have Tri-Council grants who do have nursing assistants come on board. For example, the rare dementia, which is through social work, but we have nursing assistants who assist with that. You know, I have done research where I have had students help me with doing lit reviews, which may not sound like, you know, too much, but it's a lot of work. You learn a lot about going out there and finding what's happening. So it's an opportunity for students to develop those research skills, which are a part of being a nurse. So yeah, I would say, and they get paid. Yeah, absolutely. So you get paid for helping your prof, which is always good. I think you should come to Nipissing, because I know I've had students come to me and say, you know, I was thinking about going to like Queen's or some of the other bigger institutions, and I'm from Southern Ontario, and I wasn't sure North Bay was going to be right for me, but I came to the campus. Everybody was so nice. It was a great campus. I saw the simulation center, and it's not that far of a drive. We're 3.5 hours from Toronto, 4.5 hours from London, 4 hours from Ottawa. We get a lot of students from now Southern Ontario, and we get a lot of students from the Ottawa Valley area. So it's not that, it's far enough away from home that you're on your own, but it's not too far in case you want to go home and see mom and dad and take your laundry and get a good home cooked meal.